Death, dying. You're going to die. We're all going to die. And today I want to talk about it. I want to talk about death, grief, loss, healing. What does it look like? Looks different for everyone. I bet you know someone who's died. I know someone who's died. I'm not bragging, but I do know a few that have passed. And it depends on the person, but my grief experience has been different, right? Do you know anyone who's dead? Or did you know anyone? Did you used to know anyone who's dead? Do you know anyone who is dead? That's odd. Because can you say that in the present tense? Okay, whatever. Do you know anyone who's died? That's it. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. How did you experience grief? Today, I'm interviewing a guy, super fascinating guy called David Ferrugio. And he actually lost his father in 9/11. And him and Pete Davidson, those are the two people that I know that speak about it publicly, personally. Many other people have lost loved ones in 9/11. Just Pete Davidson came to mind because, right, I think he lost his father as well. Well, David Ferrugio, after he lost his father, he realized through his grief journey that people just weren't talking about it. It was always it's this taboo subject, right? But it's the inevitable. It's like, I think he is doing it very well. He's normalizing the conversation of talking about death and grieving and loss, and he's fascinating. And it was an inspiring conversation, and I think you'll enjoy it. And yeah, dude, that's what we're doing today.
What rubbed off?
Well, just this light is so fucking bright. I don't even know.
We call them Bowie socks.
Oh yeah, it does look like Bowie.
Big fan.
Did you hear he died?
No, I thought he was before. Didn't he have a concert next week in Minnesota?
You gotta cancel your tickets.
No, I didn't buy him. I was gonna scalp him. Did you hear he died? Should we talk about that?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
I have no idea. You reached out to me.
Well, yeah, but it's still your show. I
but I don't know.
I feel like you just talk about such you talk about a lot of different things.
Yeah, I do.
So I was like, I don't know, maybe she'd be open to this kind of thing. And you're fun and you're funny, and it's just
keep going.
Bowie socks. I'll stop right there. And
creative.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about anything for the most part. Oh, you want more confidence?
Yeah, okay, modest.
We'll do that in the mid-roll.
It's cool.
So, well, one thing in regards
Why are you here?
I don't know. Just prospecting. I wanted to meet Patrick. I wanted to learn about... Yeah. Actually, quick cut. One thing about it, I wanted to ask you, because I want to say respectful to, I know you just talk, you kind of let it go, I feel like, from what I understood and what I've listened to.
Yeah.
Like open.
Yes.
So if there's any preference in regards to my answer, I can go on rants, but I don't want to also rant on forever. So if you prefer any kind of like shutting up, just let me know.
I'll just tell you to shut up.
Yeah, literally say shut up.
I'm going to tell you to shut up.
Perfect. Yeah, don't give them any context for anyone that's listening either. Just tell me to shut up.
Okay. Yeah, if you talk too much, I'm just going to tell you to shut the fuck up.
Preferably.
Okay.
I'm from the East Coast. I can talk.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to ask you that. Where are you from?
Audio good? No, I'm very fidgety.
I'm going to do like a proper intro later.
Yeah, whatever. You probably want to ask me. Do you know how to pronounce? You don't know my last name?
No, I don't know your first name.
David.
Okay.
David.
I've been calling you Death Guy. I'm like, when's
fun.
Death Guy coming?
That's fine. I'm here.
David.
Yeah. David Death Guy. Alliteration. So, yeah, I mean, let me give you the gist of refresher of what I'm doing and maybe give you context. And if you want to go in that direction, sure. If you want to go in a different direction, I'm at your liege.
You'll do whatever I want.
So do whatever you want. Just don't lock me in the bathroom. So I reached out because when I came across some clips, then, checked out your podcast. I thought, she covers a lot of different things. maybe what I do is of interest. And I have my podcast, Dead Talks, which
Yeah.
was inspired by losing my father when I was 12 on 9/11. And
Yes.
it took me down this rabbit hole many years later to start these conversations. Many reasons why, but one of them being I feel like people didn't talk about it. And I
Talk
would
about death,
death in general, or
grief.
just confronting it. And I have a very dark sense of humor. I'm open just talking about anything, let alone
Yeah.
my experiences, but that took some time in regards to being super comfortable with it. But the main thing, and we could maybe it comes up, but it was my dad dying on a public fashion and constantly getting this attention and still getting this attention. Thank you to Never Forget. And
Mm.
they always, and I feel like I was like, oh, I always get this text message on the anniversaries. And I thought there's so many people that died on a Tuesday, 2014, that don't get those messages. So it was more the idea of the podcast, not around my story, comes up
Whoa.
contextually, but I bring on new people just to focus on them and share their experience around death, whether it's grief, I've had near death experiences, I've had war veterans, comedians,
Wow.
it's across the board. So
Yeah.
I talk about death.
How do you find your guests?
It's evolved. At first, I
Yeah.
just kind of just worked my inner circle
Yeah.
and just, I started from zero. So
Just like call your friend, like, hey, anyone die that you love?
almost literally. Actually,
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it was, to be honest. And do you know anyone that experienced death in any way, and then so forth? And then it kind of just kept moving where I got, started getting some traction, thankfully. And then the optics of the show, I suppose, helped me reach out to guests as I grew my resume. But it was, I reached out DMs, websites, managers. I reached out on Cameo. So I submitted like a $250 request for a video. Then I noticed you could send a video explaining what you want him to say. So I just pitched my podcast in 30 seconds.
That's genius.
And then I saw a response that declined the payment. I was like, oh, and then in response, he was like, you didn't take the money. He said, reach out to so-and-so, maybe we can make it work. And then we made it happen.
Oh
So
my,
like any way possible, any angle, I just ask and
that's
just people
genius.
say no. And that's
I
it.
love that. You just go on Cameo
I've tried Cameo a few times. Kurt Angle accepted my money and said no. I'm
and
like,
denied
what
your
the fuck, dude?
podcast. I
Yeah.
love
I was like,
that.
you took the money and sent me a rejection
The
letter. I'm like,
Cameo was just him being like, no.
that's literally what it was. It's like I paid my
Really?
ex to break up with me kind of thing. That's honestly what it felt like. I'm like, oh, thank you. I paid you $200 for you to say no.
That's hilarious. Oh, I love that. Wait, okay. So you're from the East Coast.
Mhm.
Where specifically? Let me guess. Jersey.
It's like some sorcery. Did you overhear us? It's a big echo.
Jersey?
Yeah.
Really?
Born in Staten Island, raised in Jersey.
Did not hear you.
Why?
Just
The jeans?
just
The white socks?
everything.
Everything. I'm not mad about it.
I don't even know what that means. Are you Italian?
Mhm.
Yeah. You know,
I'm fine.
I don't. How
I'm
many
fine.
places are there in the East Coast? I just,
A whole
there's
coast.
a lot.
Yeah, there's a
There's
whole
a
coast.
lot.
Whole coast.
Am I a psychic?
Yeah, you might be psychic. I think it's the outfit change.
Do you know Snooki?
Personally,
Yeah.
I know Snookerdoodle more than Snooki.
I'm just saying she follows me on
Oh, does she?
Instagram, and that's a flex.
Has she lost anyone?
I will DM her.
Yeah, DM her.
Anyone die that you like?
Or she could have survived. The death is the umbrella. It's the umbrella of death and the raindrops that fall, whatever they may be.
Wow, that's poetic.
Thank you. I thought about that on the whole 30-minute drive here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so from Jersey, and then what? Siblings?
2 sisters.
Really?
Yes. Older
Aw,
sisters.
really?
Mhm.
So you
It's the
just,
best.
so you're good with women.
I don't know about
You
that. but
understand women.
No. Who the hell-
Not afraid of
No one
periods.
understands women. I don't even know if women understand women.
You don't understand women?
No, I've learned a lot from my sisters, and I've always said if kids come along the way, I'm like, I want an older daughter, specifically because I think being raised by women, I was raised by women from 12 on, essentially. I think it was great.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. And are you close with your mom
Yes, we're all very close.
and your sisters? Yeah.
Yes,
And you and your dad, what was your relationship like with him?
father son, pretty much.
But yeah, but you say that, but I don't know I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, no, he was great. I mean, did the whole grind, worked in the city 9 to 5, so 9 to 6, whatever it was. So there was some time after school. It was more like one of those relationships you work all day, so you only get a couple hours at night, but then the weekends and whatnot, he was always coming to my baseball games. He was always, playing baseball with me. That was a big theme in our life was sports. So a very present father as much as he could be, had a great relationship, only felt love, was blessed to have that relationship. And
Yeah.
so, it's maybe that makes it hurt more when someone goes. But I'm very against personally, like a mantra comparison. I'm not in any aspect. Like for whatever reason, I don't like comparing anything. And unless it's like restaurants, but outside of that,
Restaurants.
it's always the thought, I had a great relationship with my dad, and then you lose that. But then I've talked to so many people on my podcast that had shit relationships or no relationships. And is that maybe that's worse? Because I had you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like I had a comedian I was talking about.
Yes.
He didn't have a relationship with his father, and then it's the what if question.
Mhm.
He explained a great analogy, like the fourth quarter. It's like, okay, for 3 quarters in a football game or basketball game, you're down. And this most of your life without your father, those first 3 quarters, but maybe there's a comeback in the fourth. And maybe like the back end of the life, you can develop something.
Yeah.
So it's not like what if. So there's no hierarchy to the experience.
Sure.
Even on paper, it may look like that. But to me, it's like everyone's experience. I don't know what you're feeling.
And from interviewing all of these people that have experienced death and grief, do you feel like there is something, a commonality with all of them? Like, is there something where you're like, oh, every single person experienced it this way, or does it really look different for everyone?
I think it's a little bit of both. There's a lot of similarities, at least from my sample size and my own experiences. I think there's a lot of differences, but there's a lot of similarities. I mean, first one is
Say
this.
similarities again.
No, I've gotten called out for so many words.
Say it again.
Similarities,
Okay.
simulation. You think I said like similarities?
You were like similarities.
I think I probably said
I
that.
love that you say it like
I definitely changed it up the second
Okay.
time.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
So similarities.
Similarities. I like that.
Which one?
Similarities.
Yeah, I say a lot of words wrong. Apparently, school wasn't my
Dude,
thing.
I say a lot of words wrong too.
I said the worst one. Ari Shafir, I don't know if you know that comedian. He called me. He was the first one to call me out. I'm glad he did, but I said convoluted. The word convoluted. I've been saying it wrong for years. But I wasn't.
What is it?
Close.
Say it.
Convoluted.
You said convoluted.
It wasn't even. But that's not even close because there's not even a J in the whole. Let's not even. I've already embarrassed myself enough. We have 10 minutes into this conversation. I don't care.
I also say a lot of words wrong, and like I can't think of one right now. I'm sure you've heard it, Patrick. I say words wrong.
Yeah, then it's like the aristocrats
Really?
show up. It's like you knew what I meant. You knew what I meant. So similarities.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So you've interviewed hundreds of people about death. What's the one thing they all seem to agree on?
That it sucks. Yeah, that's definitely the first one. That just sucks. I've met some people that handled it way better from the beginning because maybe they're just on a different. They've gone through X, Y, Z or whatever. They're just able to accept it quicker. Some people accept it at all. The similarities, I think the basis is the humanistic approach of what our emotions are. We all feel the same emotions, not in the same way. So it's a little bit of a yin and yang between similarities and differences because it could experience love differently. We could experience anger differently or causes differently, or whatever it may be. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately it comes down to the same foundational titles of what emotions we feel. The order may be different. The impact's going to be different. But the one aspect of don't like saying this word, I've been in LA too long, but the healing aspect of it, I think is the realization and almost permission when people hit a point of giving themselves, whether subconscious or conscious, permission to feel, as corny as that sounds, because we may think we feel because we feel like shit. You may think you're feeling because I feel this, that, feeling the other, but truly to like sit in it, whatever that may mean to you, and feel it. And that's kind of seems to be, to me, the first step to whatever the next chapter is of improving and getting better.
Wow.
So I think the idea of allowing yourself to feel, because I think people think we're allowing yourself to feel, but if you really listen to yourself and pay attention to the actions you're doing, most of the time we're not. We're distracting ourselves.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah. I feel like I need to feel more. I don't want to say I dissociate, but maybe I dissociate,
Maybe.
you know?
I don't know.
Like I don't allow myself to fully, I shield it. You know what I mean? Like I want to cry more.
Good.
I cry, but I don't cry enough.
Yeah, I also don't know if crying is necessarily a dictation of allowing yourself to feel, because some people just, crying doesn't.
You cry?
Yeah.
You cry a lot?
I haven't sobbed. Last time I sobbed was on dimethyltryptamine, but that's a whole nother story. But
Was it what?
Huh?
When did you cry last?
DMT,
What is that again?
dimethyltryptamine. It's apparently we produce it. I don't fact check everything. I'm literally fact check everything I'm saying, but it's just something you could take and it takes you on a journey.
And how was that?
It was wild. But that was the last
Good
time
wild?
I cried. I don't know why I cried, but back to like normal life.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll send tears out if I put myself in a certain place or
Yeah.
hear an Elvis Presley song. Uh,
Right.
but I think again back to the feeling aspect. I remember
Yeah.
talking to a buddy and we were talking about meditating, and he's like, "Dude, I can't meditate because every time I sit there and I do it, all these things come up and I get distracted." I'm like, "No, that is exactly what it should be. Whatever's coming up, maybe is something that you're not addressing." But he initially says, "I can't meditate because he doesn't
Sure.
like the feeling." I'm like, "That's sitting in it. That's
Yes.
letting it come and allowing yourself to feel it. Maybe it's that momentary pause of literally just sit. For me, it's just sitting there. Like whether it's
Yeah.
a relationship thing going on a couple years ago, and I think the best part about that is grief and these feelings and death in general all comes back to me about everything we do in life. I think that's why the beauty of talking about grief and death is that it ultimately comes back to how we manage the rest of our life. And that's why I've learned about this podcast, not grieving my dad. It's how applicable those modalities are to the rest of your life, which is why I'm talking about the relationship, because to me, it was sitting in it. It wasn't just going to like a workout's good. That's not a distraction. That's healthy, but literally just sitting there. And instead of turning the TV on, just like sitting there and just, I feel this. All right, let it ride. Just let it ride, see where it goes.
Yeah.
And not judge it, not try to create a story. I feel this because of that. This is helpful, maybe. But sometimes it's just, I feel this. I
Mm.
don't have to define it. I'm just going to sit in this, be miserable for a little bit, and then tutto pasa. It's going to pass.
Yeah, it's not about like getting in the solution or writing it out, just like allowing yourself to sit and feel all of those feelings.
Maybe I think it's just there's so many things we can do, and that's for me. That's one of the many pieces.
Yeah, I started getting into or just reading a little bit about Buddhism. I grew up atheist and then now I guess I would say I'm agnostic. Like I just don't know, but I like to pray, I like to meditate. I think a spiritual practice for me is so key to, especially I'm a recovering addict. Like it's just so helpful for me, to
Mhm.
have that. But so I've been looking into different religions and I'm like all of them kind of freak me out, right? Except for Buddhism. Buddhism, I'm like, I'm super kind of into this. It's more of a philosophy. And one of the things they practice is embracing impermanence. And that's kind of what you were talking about of like the death of a relationship. Like you went through this breakup or, you experienced losing your father and like, it's just, it's all impermanent. Nothing is permanent.
Yeah,
And
and I feel like we
yeah.
can. Well, first I want to ask
Yeah.
what free why were you atheist if you know, and what was that transition?
Yeah. So I grew up right outside Chicago in a very like Italian, Irish, Catholic town, and we were the only atheists in town. My dad just is this like mad scientist who was like, fuck organized religion. It's bullshit, Laura. Eat a hot dog. You're too skinny. But like that was my dad. And so he refused to let us go to church. And my mom grew up Catholic, but then as she got older, she kind of didn't know about it. And so she didn't mind.
Mhm.
And then as my dad got older, he started going, well, okay, it's kind of arrogant for me to say that I know that there's nothing. So he kind of moved to becoming agnostic more. But that's why I was just raised atheist.
Mhm.
Like we were just raised, especially by my dad, to believe that, yeah, God does not exist. And then he would say to me, because I was told I was going to hell like every other week by my
Oh,
friends, because
great.
they were like, did you get your communion? I'm like, what's that? And they're like, you're going to hell. I'm like, what? And then I would like ask my mom to teach me, prayers and stuff to like fit in. But I really love that he raised me that way looking back, because he would say, he'd go, look, I don't believe in it. He goes, I don't want to brainwash you, especially when you're a little kid, to say that this is what God is. So when you're old enough, you can study the different religions and decide what works for you if you need that.
Mhm.
And I really appreciated that. So
Yeah, that's. I was curious of where that ended because at
yeah.
first it seemed like he was forcing you in one direction, but it's nice to see that he kind of gave like you figure it out. So a lot of people
Yes.
are brainwashed, as he says, and never looked outside the box because they were told this or that. And then but keeping it open, allow people to explore what's out there because there's so much.
Totally.
So now what do you believe?
So now I believe in a higher power, but I don't know what it is. I just believe there's something like
Mhm.
I love Eckhart Tolle's definition of God. It's the power of life itself. That is God. The
Life
power
force?
of, yes, the power of life itself. I love that. Or I get like Mother Nature,
Mhm.
just the power of life itself is like how I would define God.
Yeah, it's interesting because the power of life itself is a definition, but also an unknown because it's even hard to define in many ways. It's just kind of like, oh, like I can't
Yeah.
explain it, but
Yeah. You
but you
can't,
know
you
it.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's so many people that need the, yeah, but prove it. We'll prove it. We'll prove it. And it's like, some things are just incomprehensible and you don't need proof.
Do
Yeah.
you believe in God?
No, maybe not in the biblical sense, but
Yeah.
even though, I mean, I can't even say that because I'm not
Yeah.
even savvy enough to speak on the Bible, but
Yeah.
I just think if you want to call it something, then you can call it a God, but that's interchangeable within itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in something. I just don't know if it's one creator and they're at the top of the hierarchy, or it's just they're the creator, but they're part of it all. So there's not really a hierarchy within that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That
So,
makes
but I
sense.
definitely believe with non-absolute confirmation, it's just, yeah, I think there's definitely more.
Yeah.
And if there's not, then all right, well, what am I going to do about it anyway? But at the same time, there's
Totally.
too much. There's too much I've heard, too many things I've just felt, and I'm going to trust that. If it makes me feel good, great. But I'm going to keep my mind open.
Okay, so was there a specific moment when you realized you had to talk publicly about losing your dad and like actually create your whole career and show around it?
October 7th, 2014.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Oh, I was
I
like,
no.
tell me more. What happened on that day?
No, there wasn't a specific moment. I just I've had this weird feeling. I don't know. When I was younger, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna end up talking at some point in my life, like about something, and
Mhm.
I felt like there was just something to come out of me, and I always deep down was like, it's gonna come back to my dad in some way. So I didn't have this idea of what it was gonna be, but just maybe like 2019, 2018 or so, 2019, I just thought I was like, oh, maybe I'll just try a podcast out and talk about death. I just didn't know in what fashion. It evolved from, okay, should it be only just people that lost their parents? Should it be, I remember I had a layover in Denver
Yeah.
and I had like 5 hours to kill. So I bought a joint, just walked around smoking by myself. I remember calling my buddy Will. I'm like, yo, I don't want it to be, I want it to be serious, but I want it to be a range of emotions. Should I only talk to comedians because I want that vibe? And
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's pigeonholing it. Let's just talk about death and just explore it from all angles. Whether I believe in the other person or not, I don't care. I want to have the conversations that are uncomfortable, which is inherently death for a lot of people. I want to
Yeah.
learn about different religions, different beliefs, and keep my mind open to it and not attach myself to an ideology. Even if I have my beliefs, whatever, like we're two humans sitting across from each other. So it wasn't a moment to not answer your question. It was just this weird undercurrent of knowing that I'd get to this point, whether it was going to be successful or not, like whether, regardless of what my podcast and my platform does in the future, I truly feel like, oh, I want to do this regardless.
Yeah.
Like, sure, I want it to be a certain level where I can truly just do that, but it just feels right. And I feel like there's a need for it
Why do you think people are so awkward around the topic?
because it's terror because no one knows. I think it's just the
Dude.
unknown. People need to know.
But even like, is there a wrong thing to say to someone who just lost someone?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, like what?
I can't. I mean, without giving an example, but yeah, for sure. I probably said it without even realizing it. But that's why I usually try to keep my mouth shut unless I know the person really well.
Like, has someone said something to you that really just pissed you the fuck off about it? Or
Maybe
no?
back when,
Okay,
but
okay,
now I'm
okay.
like, I don't
Sure.
like the person's probably trying. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna be an asshole, like I know, and then you'll call them out. But for the most part, most people don't know what to say. I'm not even sure what to say. It's more about just being there to me. But I think I've heard in the peanut gallery, a lot of people don't like saying, "Oh, they're in a better place now." That
Okay.
one seems to, get
Totally.
people.
Yes.
Maybe because belief
Of
contrast there, sure.
course. Yeah.
I think that's a big one, but there's definitely like for me, again, I like cracking jokes and depends on who and it's not, I don't have a written joke. It's just kind of improvisational. And I like breaking the ice and I won't do that around certain people because it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
But if it's some of my friends, I'll give it at least 30 seconds before trying to say something. So it's just if you're there for someone who is grieving, trust that you know. Like, I think we add this pressure to say the right thing. And to me, the first approach is say less, I think sometimes, unless they're asking for it or you think you're feeling like they want you to say something. But to me, less is more.
Less is
Less
more.
is more because I think I'm not by saying there's the wrong thing to say, but it can be the wrong thing to say to a certain person. And what I can't give you an answer what that is, but you'll
What
find
is the
out.
best thing to say to someone who just lost someone?
I love you.
I love you.
I'm here for you. And as corny as I'm here for you, is I'd like to reiterate I'm here for you by
I'm here for
like,
you.
like say it a second or third time. Like call me or I'll call you. And if you don't want me to, like, I'll throw out all angles. Like dude, if you need
Wow.
space, I'll give you space. And especially if it's a close person. If it's someone
Yeah.
that I know, I'm like, dog, like,
If it's a coworker, you're not going to be like, I love you.
no, I mean, yeah, that's fair. I don't. It's weird because I don't love saying the I'm sorry for me personally,
Why not?
but I don't know. It's just like
Just like,
when people say I'm sorry about my dad. Like, were you in the plane? Are you Osama bin Laden? I mean, I'm taking it too literally, but I've kind of got off my pedestal there of saying there's nothing wrong with that too. Like I'm sorry because I think that hits pretty universal. Like people understand where
yeah,
that's coming from.
I'm so
So I'm
sorry.
sorry. I'm sorry for your
Loss.
loss. I think that's safe. But yeah, I don't have, even though I talk about death, I don't have a magic answer. I kind of have to adjust to
My deepest condolences.
yeah, sincerely, David. No, I think it's just so different depending on who you're talking about. So I don't have a universal answer, but I'm sorry is definitely the one you hear the most.
What do you believe happens when we die?
We continue on, just not in this meat sack. I think it's just like some spiritual realm where we're nobody, we're not a body, we're nobody in some sense. And everything's going to make sense at the same time without this humanistic, egotistical understanding, which is why I
Yeah.
think this world is it's so difficult to comprehend what would be next because we're understanding it from a human mind, which is so convoluted and has this understanding from this world.
I like that you don't say the H in human, but please continue. You say human.
I say a lot of things,
Okay.
guys. You know,
I just like that. All right.
how do I say it?
Human.
Yeah, the H is useless. Like, why is it even there
okay.
anyway? You know, it's
right.
like a kidney.
Wait, sorry, keep going.
Is a kidney the one that we can live without? Damn it. Okay, we need a kidney. See, guys? All right, we're not here for educational purposes. Just let me live. That's why I caught myself, though. I saw we got Patrick there. What was the question? Human?
Just like, what do you believe happens when we die?
Yeah,
And
I don't. My thought is very vague, but I think we continue on. I think we go to this other realm where the work continues, but it's not going to feel like work. I think it's continual transcending of this human spirit. And the way that I look at it is like if you look at it from a humanistic understanding, I think most people want to improve, right? We try to be better. And it's going to be you zoom out, it looks like it's going up, but it's up and down. And I think every human, for the most part, wants to improve. We try to read books, self-help, meditate, wake up early. And that is
cold plunge, green juice,
matcha, which is disgusting. And
I love it. You don't
I think
like
it's
matcha?
if you zoom out from the human approach of we have this intention to transcend in this life, extrapolate that to this incomprehensible world where the work continues in that sense. And from what I've learned and heard from near-death experiences, whatever you want to believe, I try to look for patterns. And though all these stories are very different visually, if you will, a lot of the similarities and consistencies I've heard is that we're here to learn. We are literally here to learn. We're here to experience. We're here to feel. We're here to fuck up. We're here to love. We're here to heartbreak. We're here to suffer because all these lessons here help transcend that next level. And where I guess the idea of reincarnation comes in, that's why we maybe keep coming back to suffer, to experience and learn more, even like stack up and compound from the last life to ultimately transcend enough to always go there. But I think beyond the next life, whether it's on a physical place, it's just this eternal, everything is good. It's eternal peace and a level of love, which I've heard from other people that have crossed over, if you will, that is just everything is just good.
Wow.
And I think, but then beyond that, I always think the Jim Jeffries stand up from like 15 years ago. He's like, if it's eternal, eventually I'm going to get bored. Like eternal scares the shit out of me more than dying. The idea of just forever. And then, like, I don't want to live forever.
I just don't think you would get bored.
No, exactly. Because that's a human feeling. That's a human understanding. And then on that level, it's just.
If you're bored, you're boring.
If you're bored, you're boring. You say that to people?
Yeah.
Are you saying that to me?
I've just been saying that to people for a long time because I do feel like that.
Yeah,
who gets bored?
I don't get bored.
How could you get bored?
That is true. And I'm not.
Think about that.
I don't get, I said that. I get frustrated. People say I'm bored. I'm good just sitting there.
Are you bored?
I don't get bored.
So how can you get bored with TikTok even? There's always something to do.
I could do without TikTok.
I'm just saying, if you're bored,
Yeah.
just anything.
If you're bored, you should give TikTok a try.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. It never stops.
I don't have a hard answer. I just think we do continue on.
We continue on.
I think there's more work over there. I think you get jobs, if you will, whether that's like I've heard you get maybe you can like you be a greeter. So when people cross over, you're that first person they see. You can be a spirit guide for somewhere else. And the crazy stuff I heard in books and stories, the
Yeah.
consistency is that there's healing rooms over there. If you've had a traumatic life over here, you just go and chill for human years, like a long ass time just to heal your soul due to the trauma. There's schools over there, if you will, where you continue to learn. Then you decide if you want to come back to experience XYZ. But then the contrast to that is a lot of people are like, well, why would I? Oh, sorry. People choose their life here. That part's of the process of reincarnate. We chose this life. I always see it like an iPad, and maybe it's just kind of skimming through the spiritual Tinder and saying, oh, that looks interesting. That looks interesting. Oh, this dude, David, is not necessarily going to say dad's going to die in a terrorist attack, but he's going to experience deep grief at a young age. What's that going to be like? I want to experience that. And from our angle, and to me too, it's like, why would anyone choose this suffering? There's so many horrible things going on in the world.
Yeah.
So many beautiful things, but so many horrible things that I'm not going through that I know other people are going through. Why would I choose that suffering? And again, I think it's just incomprehensible from where we are now to making that decision on the other side, where and I look at it as like, oh, it's a choice to experience this. And if that's true, if we made a choice, it kind of makes the suffering confusing out here, but also a little bit like, oh, I chose this. So let's just work through it because maybe I'm here to learn it.
So you're open to believing that you chose this.
I'm open to anything,
Yeah.
in a psychotic way. Why? Like,
In a psychotic way.
Yeah. Like
What if whatever you think happens when you die, or whatever you believe happens after you die, happens?
Yeah.
Like if you believe in heaven, if you believe in Sky Daddy, he's there.
Yeah.
If you believe in reincarnation, that will be your reality. Like what if whatever you believe?
I think that's a part of it. And again, going back from the people I've spoken to, just as a smorgasbord of pulling from this and that.
Yeah.
It seems like the buffer zone, the transition from here to that place, whatever that may be, that sweet spot in the middle, you're going to experience and see what is familiar to you here. So if you believe in God or Jesus or horses or fucking Metallica, whatever, you're going to experience that in the in-between before you get, I think the other side is what it is. I think that experience is going to be very similar, the same for everyone. But that buffer zone is going to be the experience of what we are familiar with. Because if you just went from 0 to 60, it's going to be too much. So
the buffer zone is
maybe the crossing over.
Crossing over.
And
and
it's
so
like the waiting room.
Okay. And you've talked to a lot of people who've been in that buffer zone.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm pulling this just from out of my ass. I'm just saying the stories that I've heard, they're so different. People like every near-death experience is so different. I'm like, yeah, it is different. But then I've had conversations, I can't pinpoint the name of people, like I'm asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
And I think someone was like, yeah, I think it was just, I had to see what I'm familiar with. And I mean, that's why I felt maybe that's why I saw Jesus. A lot of people that believe in God didn't see Jesus also. And they came to an understanding like, oh, God isn't how we understood it, but it is there. I didn't meet God, but the things they saw were just relatable to what they knew as a human to have an easy transition to the next side. And then if they fully crossed over, then it might just be everyone sees the same shit.
Wow.
All theoretical, obviously.
It's just more fun, I think, to believe in God and to believe that something beautiful happens after you die. So I choose that because it's more fun and I just want to have fun.
Yeah, some people say fun, some people say peace, and that's why I guess they latch on to a religion. Like organized religion, totally get why it has the hairy. I have my thoughts on that, but I don't think like you throw it at all like a couple bad apples, or maybe it's all one big bad orchard. I don't know, but there is still so much good stuff in religion, whatever it is, that you can still use. And just because there's some creeps or weirdos here and there shouldn't diminish the entire idea behind it in many ways. Like the organized control aspect, that shit, I don't know.
Of course.
I don't know. You're taking money from me every time I go there Sunday, but at the same time, you shouldn't throw all of it in the trash.
Don't throw all the principles away, or the spiritual practice, the meditations or prayer and service. That's all important.
If it works for you, whatever.
If it works for you.
I cherry pick from as much as I can.
So have there been a lot of people who feel like they still have a connection with someone who's passed, or like that person still talks to them in some way or communicates in some way? Have you heard a lot of that?
Yeah, I mean,
because I had Sorry, I
No, no,
interrupted.
don't interrupt
Okay.
me. Tell me to
Okay,
shut up.
my cousin who her and I were really, really close, and she was a few years older than me, and she overdosed on, fentanyl, and, died when she was in her mid-30s, and I I don't know, like, I have these conversations with her still because we were always close growing up, and we just connected a lot for a lot of different reasons. And so I'll just find myself like laying in bed talking to her. And I know that it's probably just because I know her so well. I know what she would say. So it still feels like I'm having a conversation. There was this one night I was laying in bed and I was just kind of like talking to her in my head. I was asking her how she was. And I was telling her what's going on in my life and I could hear her response. And I understand it's because I'm familiar with her voice and her attitude and outlook on life. But as I was doing that, and like this sounds so stupid, but like the light in my bathroom just started going crazy. And I was just like, is that a sign? Like, or is I just need to change my light bulb?
Oh, it's interesting you say that.
Uh huh.
I mean, I think I relate to a lot of that because sometimes I try to get to that place, and for years I've tried to have conversations with my dad, and then all of a sudden my thinking brain comes in. It's like, what am I thinking? That when it comes to like that
Yes.
intuition, I think intuition is pure as it is. I asked this woman I know about it, and she was like, "If usually that first one, that first feeling you get, trust that one, because everything that
Really?
follows usually is when the noise gets in our head. And not every thought is truth. That's one thing I feel like people get so confused in our head. I get in my head. I'm too much, not in an intelligent way, but too cerebral with my thoughts and overanalyzing.
Yes.
That not every thought we have is the truth. And we got to realize that just because I'm thinking it doesn't mean it's so. And I think that relates to what you're saying. Just because now your thinking brain is coming in and trying to doubt it, what
Yes.
was that first feeling? What was that first feeling? What
That
did
it
you
was
feel?
her, that she was saying, hi, like I'm here.
Then
I'm
trust
here,
then
Laura.
trust that. I think just trust that in my opinion.
That's crazy. And then I was like missing her so bad. I like to go to like really grimy Thai massage places, but
Mhm,
not like that
mhm.
kind, not the happy ending. It's not that, but they probably do that. I like the really grimy places. I just
You mean
find,
grimy, like dirty?
yes,
Why?
I like filthy, filthy Thai massage
So
places.
you want all your senses to be distracted from a good
Just
massage? Is that what it is? You want the smell and everything?
no, like they're actually not disgusting. It's more just they're little hole in the walls. They're super cheap, but I've just found the ones where they step on
Oh,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get
That
that all the
is,
time.
they're not. I don't know that they're dirty necessarily, but they're not like
I know what you
it's not
mean.
your hotel spa. It's not
Yes.
even your Burke Williams. It's just
Yes.
like that little hole in the wall in the shopping mall down the street. Like I've just found the best masseuses at those places.
Same. There's a place in Culver.
Dude, right?
She's like 65 years old and is the strongest woman I ever met in my life.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
So anyway, so I go to one of those places and I'm all sad and I'm missing her and they pair me with a woman and she was like the only English speaking masseuse there. And I was like kind of bummed out. I was like, "Oh, damn." And because I've had it where masseuses will just like talk to you the whole time and whatever. I just wanted to relax. So I lay down and she starts talking my ear off. But what was so fucking insane was, like I said, I was really missing my cousin to the point where I was like, I just need to distract myself. Let me go lay down and get stepped on so I can just shut off the world type thing. She starts talking to me. She won't stop. And I swear to God, my head is down, right? And everything she's saying, her inflections, what she's saying, how she's saying it, the story she's telling me were my cousin Amanda. Like, oh my God. Like, I can't, it was the wildest thing. Like, I was like, and I felt like I got to have, oh my God, sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I felt like I got to have an hour, 90 minutes actually, conversation with my cousin. Like it was like she was there and she was being so inappropriate, talking about her boyfriends and how good she was in bed, like really inappropriate shit, just like my cousin
Mhm.
was. And it was so wild for a masseuse, but it was like, I can't even tell you the inflection, the stories, all of it were my cousin. And it was like, I got so lost in it. I felt like I was just with her the whole time.
It's beautiful.
It was fucking insane. Like, explain that. What is that? Like, I felt like my cousin came in to just hang out for a bit or something.
And this isn't me defining anything you just experienced, but like looking into your eyes, seeing the emotions come out, in my opinion, that's all the explanation you need. And I think when we start doing what you're doing, questioning it,
Yeah.
natural, human,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the incomprehensible, trying to like make sense of the world.
Yes.
But trust what you're feeling, because everything I'm seeing from you is natural feeling, natural emotions. You're literally feeling it right now as if you're experiencing it then. It
Yes.
felt real. It felt
Yes.
right. That's it.
And it was like the coolest thing ever.
Then
I was
just
like, this is awesome.
then I think, I feel like by trying to justify it and make sense of it, is this real? It takes away from the experience that you had. But not like your response is natural. I've had not as powerful as that, but experience that I start questioning it and thinking, was it this? Was it maybe it was just Quinn? And it's like, no, but what did I feel? And what look at everything you're feeling is so beautiful that
Yeah.
that's real. That
Yeah.
is real.
Yeah.
Outside of you want to go really go down the rabbit hole, to me, listening to you and seeing the emotions that are coming out, that for sure, 100% we know is real. The
Wow.
tears that are boiling in your eyes,
Yeah.
that's real. So leave with that. So if that experience was real, regardless of the meaning, that's real enough. And it's like we always kind of, the general me, I see a lot of time in the comment section, proof, like show me, like, how are you going to show an experience? How would you prove that experience? You can't,
That's what I'm
but it's real to
saying.
you. So
Yes.
fuck everything else.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So fuck
Yes.
everything else. You had that 90 minutes with her. And at the end of the day, to me, it's like the meaning we give something is the meaning it is. And I think
Yeah.
that's the reality or
Yeah.
simulation we're living in, is like whatever we see and whatever we feel and make of XYZ, you and me can look at this coffee and see it completely differently. But what's real to us is what's real.
Wow. What's real to us is what's real.
So
Yeah.
I think is we have to, I try to let go of that thinking brain, 'cause it confuses the hell out of me.
Totally.
So it's like I think we have to go back to and we're back to the instinct. Like instinct is a
Yes.
thing for a reason. Like trust the instinct, and
Yes.
everything else is nurture, is like nature and nurture. And it's, I don't even know it's my thought or someone else's, but we have to go back to trusting ourselves. And that's your own journey. But if everything you're telling me, it was real, as crazy as it sounds, and it's only crazy because we were listening to other people tell us what's crazy.
I know. And that's not even the only time. It happened one other time with my godmother who passed, and she was like my second mom, and she died a few years back. And this local support group that I go to every week, I have like a commitment there at a 12-step meeting or whatever. There's an old lady there who is just like, she just reminds me so much of my godmother that when I'm talking to her, it does feel like, and I don't know if it's the exact same thing as the masseuse, where the masseuse felt like Amanda fucking swooped in and was hanging out with me. That's what that felt like.
Mhm.
This is more just like this woman, her essence, again, they're so similar in so many ways. And we've bonded in this way. She's literally 82. My aunt, my godmother, was the one who helped get me sober 14 years ago. And then now in LA, I go to this AA group and I meet this 82-year-old woman who is so similar to my aunt. And it is like a godmother role to me today. And it's just strange. And I don't know necessarily if I believe a niece is my godmother is in her, but they're just so, I can't explain it.
I think you just did. It's great. I think
Okay.
it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
even if you go down that whole scientific method of trying to understand it, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, maybe was it this, Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze, did the body go into Whoopi Goldberg? I don't know. But at the end of the day, even if it
Yeah.
was just a similar person, isn't it magical that the world and the universe created that moment?
It's fucking awesome
It's amazing.
because I feel crazy. I never talk about it because I feel crazy.
No, everyone else is crazy.
Okay, cool. Because I literally feel like I get to go hang out with my aunt every week.
Then live in
I
that.
and I'm like,
Stay right
this is
there.
awesome.
Hell yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's sick.
Yeah.
And the beautiful part about you're open minded to it. I think if we're not open minded to something, you're not gonna have that experience. A lot of people that are just nay, nay, nay. Okay, then you're not gonna experience that. I don't know what to tell you until you open your mind and say maybe. I just like to live life, and I'm like maybe. And then there's certain things I'm a little more to one side, but I'm just like maybe. Just say maybe.
Just say maybe.
Open yourself up a little bit to every experience that's a maybe. Maybe this, maybe that. I don't know. Even if I'm nudging towards a hell no, there's a paradigm shift there. And I think once everyone say be a yes man, be a maybe person. I think be a maybe person just opens a whole different world in front of you, because maybe things will get better. Maybe things will get worse. I don't know. And then it toes the line of right down the middle.
I love
And
that.
then I think the middle is great because it keeps you present. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's a little bit of, I see life as like a dance. I truly think it's just one big massive dance. When you ever go to a wedding where you're dancing to fucking Elvis Presley, and all of a sudden the DJ shifts to Pitbull, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Mhm.
And it's that in between sometimes. Like you found your groove, you found your rhythm, you move into this or that, you're leading your partner, and vice versa. You think you found it, all of a sudden the song changes out of nowhere. Like, what the hell is this? And you're kind of like doing that weird adjustment in
Yeah.
between songs, like trying to find your step. You don't know, you're dancing with someone else. And then after a while, you catch the rhythm. Even if you don't like the song, you work with it and you move to it. And I feel like
Wow.
life is that constant songs change, but it's still a rhythm. And I feel
Mm.
like if we just say maybe to every beat that comes along, then life is just going to be at least a little better, or maybe it'll be better. And
Yeah.
I'm dropping an episode next week talking to a homegirl of mine, and we're just talking about the notion that it can get better. It fill in the blank, the X variable, whatever it is. I've seen so many people in the comment section say, specifically with grief, 20 years into it, it never gets better. Life sucks. And I usually
Yeah.
send love their way. Sometimes I can't respond, but most in my head, I'm just like, fuck, damn, it's just, I believe it. I say to myself, it will get better. First of all, that's just me. Start, if you can't go there, go, it can get better, can, or say it might get better. And at least
Or
start
you can be
there.
super delusional and just be like, everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me.
Yes.
My life is beautiful and abundant and I'm at peace, and just affirm that every day.
And that's real.
Dude,
To me, that is 1,000% real.
I'm that delusional and it's worked out for me.
Again, but where is your definition? Like, do you personally think you're delusional? Or,
No,
right.
I say it
Yeah.
to, so, you know,
I know I know where
yeah.
you're going. I'm just curious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the,
What? Yeah.
and that goes to the words, like, it's almost counterproductive to what you're saying. If you think about it, you're
Yes.
saying, I'm that person that says this, but now you're splintering the little bullshit on your
Yes.
own mantra saying I'm delusional. And I just
Yeah.
think by saying that, like, I truly try to eliminate, as I think I'm crazy, and here I am screwing up my own point here. It's
Don't even
I don't even
make
want to use
that
any of, I
self-deprecating
truly don't.
joke.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough because I like talking shit on everyone and
Yeah.
myself. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
comedy, fair game. I don't
Yeah.
care, comedy, whatever. But in regards to that little micro talks that we give ourselves every day, that shit adds up. And some people think about the major traumas in life. The micro traumas might be worse. Like when you're raised with a family that constantly said no, 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 don't do this, or whatever those everyday bing bongs on you, those add up. And to me,
Dude,
it's the same thing of the way we speak to ourselves.
so real.
I have friends that say, like, you know, and they would always talk to me saying, I'm sorry, or, I know I'm annoying. I know I'm annoying. I'm so stupid. Like, you're not stupid. Stop saying that. And like, listen,
Yeah.
your journey, if you want to keep saying that, that's on you. I'm just keeping a real direct, blunt.
Yeah.
Please, I want you from this perspective to stop saying those little words. And it seems so little, but if you keep saying that over and over again, it's going to become your reality. And that's where it gets convoluted again, convoluted, I guess I should say, where it just seems so small, but it's these little, it just gets buried in us. And then our subconscious runs most of us. And that's the
Dude, yeah.
habitual stuff. Like, when you drive down the road
Yeah.
and you black out for a mile, you don't even know. You're like, I was just thinking so deep. I don't even know how I drove. That is the habit, the subconscious body, involuntary muscles still taking you there. Even if you're not paying attention, it's still taking you down the road. Even though I don't remember driving the last 10 minutes, I was just blacked out. That is how we operate. We're operating on this cruise control, but people don't think you can override that cruise control, but we can.
Yeah.
I haven't mastered it. It's like, I know the formula. I really believe I know the formula, but now the work comes in where I got to figure that shit out because I haven't figured it out, but I feel like I understand the work that needs to be done. And then I get pissed off on myself for not doing the work. And that's on me.
Yeah, I believe that too. And I really do believe you can reprogram your subconscious mind. I mean, there's like a lot of scientific evidence of that. Isn't that what neuroplasticity, where you can just create new habits? And, I think affirmations are so important, just affirming whatever you want to perceive from the world. Like, for example, for me, I'm separated and going through a divorce. And I see a lot in my comments, these women that say, oh, it ruined my life. Divorce ruined my life. And I wasted 10 years or I wasted 15 years. And you know what? Maybe they did, It's like, I just refuse to, first of all, I would never give anyone that power to ruin my life. Like, I'm still finding beauty and joy in like a pretty traumatic time, And then I feel crazy because I'm like, oh, I should be depressed all the time, or I should, you know what I mean? And I'm sure people who are experiencing loss or death, like, maybe feel that guilt of like, should I allow myself to experience joy or get into radical acceptance of this person's no longer with me and I'm accepting that. So there's this peace that comes when you don't have to love your reality, but you find radical acceptance of exactly what is. So I feel like, I don't know, I guess my point is like your whole thing of it never gets better, it never gets
Mhm.
better, you never, is that a mindset? Are you then just affirming that over and over? If you changed your perception and shifted your subconscious mind, could you heal more easily?
Yeah, I mean, you got a beautiful heart and mind on you for to say that because I don't know your experience, not speaking on it, but it's like it's grief. You're going through partially grief. You're breaking
Yeah.
up. It doesn't have to be biological death. Grief is every day in our life, for the littlest thing, quote unquote, to the biggest.
Yeah.
And you said something that's really important that I want to call back, and something I said earlier about the permission to feel, but
Yeah.
there's also the permission to feel joy. And I think there's
Mhm.
a girl on my podcast, Gabriella, she said something that stuck with me. She said, it's important to live and grieve. Where we think we have to put this time out just to grieve. No, there is a dance again. We got to do both. And even amongst the chaos and the shitty things that happen in life, that's why I like cracking jokes amongst the worst part and try to time it well. It's give yourself permission to find joy amongst the storm around you. And I think
Yeah.
that's what you're saying. Like, oh, because then we start
Yes.
questioning, I should be this, I should be that. First of all, if you really want to play that game, where does should come from? Like, who told me I should? I should, I
Yeah.
should. What do I feel? Like, it goes back to the instinct again. It's all this beautiful, this big hurricane of all, it always comes back, and it always comes, there's so many similarities in regards to how to handle this shit. But the permission to feel joy is huge, not just to feel it,
Yes.
but even like you're sad or during a breakup or grief, it's okay to laugh.
Yeah.
And don't ruin that laugh by saying, "Oh no, I got to straighten up, soldier. I got to be depressed and miserable prick because I lost my father or I lost so and so." You can go back to feeling like shit in a second, but for a moment, say, "Oh, I can laugh. I can enjoy this company with this
Yeah.
person. I can enjoy this bite of this food. I can just take this moment at least." There's nothing wrong with finding joy amongst pain. If anything, that is the healing part of it. That's why I love comedy so much in every aspect. I love laughing. There's a reason the cliche laughter is the best medicine, because laughter is joy. And even if it's just a moment, like you go to a comedy club, you forget the world for an hour. Forget the
Yeah.
during a comedy set, everyone forgets what's going on. They're making fun of it. And then you go back out the door, you can be pissed at traffic, whatever you got to do. But that momentary joy, don't dismantle that. It's okay to find joy amongst the worst times.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that should. Like, what? Who said you should be feeling that way? There's no should.
Yeah.
Just feel. What do you feel? Like, what's up?
Yeah. I don't even agree with like, yeah, regretting the past or really just resisting the reality of what is, I feel like is the root cause of our suffering, you know?
Say that again.
Resisting the reality of what is. That is the root cause of our suffering.
And I think if you go even deeper, it's just resistance. And
Resistance.
that's where it's just like,
Yeah.
it's almost like bring it on. I don't know what to tell you. Like I want to be a good person
Yeah.
at the core. I make mistakes. I this, that, and the other, but it's like I just want to open my arms. And there's
Yeah.
a great, was it the Bleachers with Bruce Springsteen in Chinatown. I remember hearing this song. I listened on repeat, and at the end, the lyrics to go like, "I love to chase every feeling." I'm like, that's me. Like I love
Mm.
chasing every feeling, not chasing it to force emotions, and like I have to go through this to like just I want to feel like shit. It's just I want to feel everything,
Yeah.
even the bad. Like I want to I would like to avoid it. Of course, I want pleasure and happiness, but at the same time, it's like I love chasing the feeling. I love those experiences. And I think that's what it is. I really feel like that's what life is.
That's what life
It's
is.
these feelings. It's just ups, the downs, and
You
no
know
one
who's
wants
kind
the
of
downs.
mastered that is like toddlers and babies. They're fucking amazing because they just feel everything. They're angry and they're like, ah, and they just let everyone know how angry they are and they feel it fully. And then they're like, do, 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 and so happy the next minute. And you're like, huh? Because they're not suppressing anything.
Nothing.
They're feeling it all.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
don't look at them like they're crazy. Like, oh, they don't know any better. Well, they know more than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that the
Exactly.
crazy part?
Totally.
And I'm almost jealous, but it's like, that's
Yes.
why I always said, like, I feel like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I want to keep I'm always deemed like, like childish, not in an immature way, just playful and this and
Yeah.
that. And maybe I can get annoying, sure, but I like that playful idea of life. Like, let's have fun with it. And
Yeah.
even when it's shitty, because it's going to be shitty, we're going to feel like shit, but that childlike wonderment of like not hiding from the emotions. And even if they don't understand it, that's okay too. Even as an adult, sometimes we don't have to understand our emotion. What if we just looked at our emotions as emotions and
Yeah.
didn't attach a story to it and just let it ride again? Just, I feel angry. Okay. Let the balloon deflate and you're going to be good again.
Do you feel like losing your dad at that age could it have given you some sort of abandonment issues, or do you find you struggle sometimes in romantic relationships because of that loss?
Yeah, I think about that
Or
all the time.
nah?
No, I think of that all the time. I would think I don't want to say commitment issues,
Yeah,
but I've definitely been way too overanalyzed in taking that next step. Like I've had a couple of relationships and well, some of them different reasons in regards to just compatibility and
spill
whatnot.
the
That's different.
tea.
But in regards to, I've always thought about that because there's time like, why haven't I committed to anything? Is it, then I play both games. Like, is it just because I literally just haven't met that person? Maybe. Is it because my dad died in the World Trade Center and all of a sudden now I feel like everyone's going to abandon me and I don't want
Sure.
to this, that, or the other? Maybe. And I've tried to work that through. I've been conscious of it and I don't know what to do about it except acknowledge it, be aware of it, and pay attention to my actions. And then if I do something that isn't positive, then okay, why did I do that? But sometimes I don't want to go down to the rabbit hole. But the short answer, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think so.
interesting.
What do I
Very
do?
interesting.
What do I do with that?
What?
So what do I do with that?
What do you do? Hmm. Is it like after a certain like you won't get too close to someone, or
Well, my last relationship
like
definitely
how
taught
what's
me a
your
lot.
longest relationship?
2 years.
Okay.
Like
And what happened?
a little over 2 years. Well, I mean, out of respect to the relationship, I'm not going to details, but
Totally.
in regards to my personal growth
Yeah.
and what I need, I'll talk about that. It's I've I need to be better. I want to be better rather than need. I want to be better at expressing myself. Well, I feel like I'm so communicative,
Yeah.
but I think I could be. I think the borderline for me is truly expressing how I feel to get to that next level, if that makes sense. Like I'll be honest about how I feel, but there's like almost something in me that isn't breaking the love ice, if that makes sense. Where it's like I'm
Yeah.
full send kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I think that's the ice. And part of me is like, okay, is that I'm sure maybe it's a lot with me, but also have I just not experienced that person? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cop out the answer like, oh, it's I haven't found the other person. It could very well be my fucked up head for sure. And maybe it's a little bit of both. But
Yeah.
at this point in my life, based on my past experience, I'm way more aware of it. And I think I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
And I've always felt myself as an expressive person. So I think I know the steps. It's just doing it.
That makes sense.
Does it? You
No, no,
patted me
no.
on the back
No,
here?
it does make sense. I
Okay.
mean, like I'm in a weird spot with relationships, right? Because I'm just getting out of a marriage. So I'm just like questioning it all.
Like what?
If you can actually have a long lasting, healthy, loving, passionate, fun life partner, like if that actually exists.
Yeah, that's part of my question. Maybe that's why I'm not married right now.
Do you know what I'm saying?
My
Or was it just a lie we were sold?
yeah, well, I'm also on the boat. Like I'm fine not getting married.
That's it too. Me too.
But I've always said this. Listen, I'll wear the ring. I'll wear
Yeah.
the ring. I'll
Yeah.
wear a ring.
Yeah.
I'll tattoo my finger if we need that as symbolism. I'm with you.
Sure.
No problem.
Yeah.
But this idea of marriage to me, I don't think it's necessary.
I know, is
Like,
it?
isn't Goldie Hawn and what's his name married? They never got married. They seem to be doing
They
it.
never got
Then again,
married.
can't judge celebrities, but like they didn't do it. It's one example. But this idea of marriage to me,
Mhm.
I'm like I barely want the government involved in so many things I do, let alone
That's what I'm saying.
that.
It's a
And I'm
contract.
pretty sure even if you don't get married, it still applies anyway because you live in the same house. That's a whole nother question. But maybe we were sold it, but I still, yeah, I believe in the 100% the I think I've seen it and I want to experience that one
Yeah.
person that ride or die. But my grandmother said to my mom, I wasn't alive at the time, clearly at their wedding, they got married really young. And I think my grandmother was a little like, what the fuck are you doing? And my mom was 21. My dad was whatever, 23. And she looks at my mom almost spitefully, I think. I'll ask my mom this, but with deep knowledge, she looks at her and goes, remember, marriage is no peaches and cream. And it always stuck with me. It just made me, and again, it applies to life. It's like, I don't know what peaches and creams taste like, but I realized that every day is just, it takes effort. And to me, love
Yeah.
isn't just the affection. It's not just the communication. It's all that,
Yeah.
but it's the willingness to work at it. And I
Mhm.
think, yes, you can have all those things you just mentioned, but there's going to be the in-between moments. You got to work through it. But then the question to me is, at what point is that work too much work? And like,
Right.
am I thinking the peaches and cream thing? And I'm supposed to do this, but then my other buddy told me during. I have so many friends that help me,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, but it shouldn't be that hard."
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's vague, but also you know what that feels like, right?
Yes,
It's like it shouldn't be that hard, but there still should be a
absolutely.
fight. There should be compromise and things you don't want to do, but for love, you want to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm speaking from no experience. So guys, again, fact check all this. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. We're just having a conversation here.
We're just making shit up,
Just making
okay?
shit up.
Okay, wait,
Jesus.
you okay, I have a few more questions. Don't worry, and then you can
I'm good.
get out.
I'm in your house. I'm in your place.
What's the most healing story you've ever heard on a podcast?
Oh God.
Was there something that changed you or
No, I mean, it's not so much one healing story. I can give an example of a story, but it's more just witnessing and listening to other people's stories
yeah.
and then saying, oh shit, you got through that and look where you are now. So to that as a whole, to me is inspiring because again, I don't like looking on paper and say one person's worse, even though you look at some ledgers and it's like that is clearly worse. But then sometimes it's the worst thing you've ever gone through is the worst thing you've ever gone through. And I just because someone on paper doesn't look like it's going bad, you don't know what they're feeling. It could feel
Yeah.
equally the same for all we know, but on paper it looks worse. There's an amazing woman, Fallon, that I had on the podcast. She went through a horrible experience. She was a hostage situation.
Mm.
She lost her dad and mom.
Mm.
She was like 9 at the time.
Oof.
Like hours of a hostage situation from creepy
Oh.
stalker. Witnessed her dad's death, mother's death. Horrible situation. Then lost both. I believe both her brothers to
Ugh.
suicide years later. So I'm like, what hasn't this woman gone through?
I saw her TikTok.
Yeah, Fallon, she's an amazing woman, and she came on this
Yes.
podcast, and I just remember that stuck with me because, like, and she was just so her perspective after the fact of immediately going to
Yes.
gratefulness about. She immediately went to the support she had around her family, the community, and I was like, damn, so many people would just be angry, play the victim card, and not find anything positive because on paper, again, what is positive with that? What is positive
Right.
with that? But if you give things time, I always think there's positive in anything, as horrible as that was. But she was just so able to be where she is now.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm sure she even said it's still days. She has her days and times. She's not healed, if you will. Ask her that. But just seeing her come from that and still be this, find the beauty in life.
Yeah.
And even in that experience, like she specifically found it in that experience, the beauty was the community and the support she had. And the willingness to find that beauty within such violent, horrible times to me was like, what can't the human person get through? Like
Like,
what
wow.
can't they get through? And so like that story and just her willingness to be where she was and continue to work to where she wants to be, it's just mind blowing and it's a ripple effect. And that's why the power of story to me is just priceless.
Yeah. There is something so powerful about just listening. Like, it's really cool that you just get to listen to people being their most vulnerable, talking about their most personal, difficult times with you. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, you can learn experience is always the best.
Yeah.
But I've always, even at a young age, like I was just you could just look at what other people are going through, listen to other people because you can learn a lot just from listening. I feel like
And it
so,
just gives you perspective too on your own life.
yeah, and then even when shit happens, like, yeah, you can listen to my podcast and hear all these amazing stories about how people persevere through loss, this and the worst shit imaginable. But until you get hit, it's gonna be different. But then when you find the right moments, you can pull from your arsenal of this, that, and the other, and it makes it you can navigate it a little better. Like obviously what happened in 9/11, my family, 2023, my mom went into cardiac arrest. Heart
Mm.
stopped for 10 minutes. We thought she was gone. I was literally in the air, flying to London. Phone was off, landed, found the news, flew back to Jersey, went straight to the hospital after like a 24-hour day. Saw her on a breathing tube. I was like, oh, my mom might, she's, she's on breathing. She's on life support. And then we're going through, she's fine now. There's plenty of stories within that story. But even within that experience, if we hadn't gone through what we experienced in the past, let alone other things, I'm not sure we would have been so symmetrical in the way we approached it as a family. We were like, see, I felt we could always do things better.
Wow.
We were so like there. I fell, she picked me up. Jacqueline fell, I picked her up. We just all
Wow.
no bickering, no fight. It was just so fucking smooth, and I'm blessed to have that relationship.
Wow.
Family dynamic makes things a lot complicated. I'm blessed to have that. It could be
Yes.
way more complicated for people. But the point of this is, well, it still sucked. I still cried. I was still in pain. But to navigate that situation from my past experience helped. And I think you could apply that through from other people's experiences, but it doesn't diminish the fact when shit happens to you, your head's still going to be on a swivel. But by listening to other people and learning from other people's experiences, when
Yeah.
that moment comes, you could be a little bit better equipped. And all of a sudden, something clicks. I remember what Laura said. I remember what he said. And then you apply it within the
Wow.
moment. Is that,
That's really
does that make sense to you?
beautiful. Oh my God. That's
I
like
told you I
it.
rant.
I'm
Sorry.
fucking happy. Where can people find you?
Like, you want my address?
Yes.
Okay. Culver. No. So
What is your social security number?
I had to think about it I almost forgot it for a second.
Say it.
No. So you can find me. It's just Dead Talks Podcast. You can Google it, but it's pretty much Dead Talks Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, all that shit. And yeah, I appreciate the time for you
Thank
to
you.
chat with me. That was really fun. You're really fun to talk to.
You're amazing.
Thanks.
That was really inspiring.
That you too.
Thanks for making me cry.
I think that was the therapist.
I don't cry enough, so thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
You cried.
Oh yeah, I cried.
Slow clap.
Yeah. Slow
Okay.
slow clap.
Well, no, I appreciate you letting me in, Patrick. Thank you. It's cool to talk to you. I think what you're doing is great, and I appreciate being a part of it.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Okay, bye.
All right, we did it. Slay all day.